This is designed to be a very informational webinar. There's going to be a lot of topics that I cover throughout today's call. And so to get things started, for those that don't know who I am, my name is Franklin Stoffer. I'm the Vice President of Sales at Delta Media Group, and I handle all of our enterprise relationships, as well as manage our advisory committee groups that meet with me and our product development manager, Harley, to go over new features, functionality, and product that we have to offer here at Delta Media Group. And the first thing that I'd like to give an introduction to is the DeltaNET platform as a whole. So DeltaNET as a platform is basically the CRM and data center that powers all of our ancillary products. And there are quite a bit of products within our catalog, from websites, DeltaNET Academy training and education system, Open House connector to more efficiently manage open houses, Properties in Motion as our automated listing video service for Facebook and YouTube. AdWizard is an automated advertising platform allowing you to run ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Google, as well as Delta Create, our built-in marketing center with hundreds of customizable designs for e-cards, print flyers, documents, and more, as well as Delta Pitch, which is our built-in CMA product, as well as a variety of other features in our system like Cloud Delta, local showings, and more that are illustrated on this slide. We have a huge variety of tools and services. And when you have a product as large as the DeltaNET, it's really easy to lose sight of some of the tools and functionality that are in the system. In fact, we have customers that have been on our system literally for over 25 years that I meet with on a regular basis and still find new things in the system that they never knew they had access to. And it was those conversations that led me to create this webinar for today and really help bring to light some of the things that we offer that many of you already have built into your system and may not be aware of. Or for those of you that are prospective clients, these are some unique tools and features that I haven't really seen much of in any of the other product offerings in the marketplace. And so today, the current DeltaNET version is DeltaNET 7, which launched in March of 2023. And DeltaNET 7 is a free update for all existing Delta Media Group partners and customers. You can go into the admin side of your DeltaNET and toggle your version from 6 to 7 at any time. And our design philosophy with DeltaNET 7 was really all around simplification and customization. And so DeltaNET 7 is unique for every single brokerage that uses the tool. And so I do want to make a quick mention that the webinar recording today will be in our off-the-shelf version of DeltaNET 7 and may not be indicative of the version that your company is using, as every single brokerage that uses the DeltaNET has a unique version of the system created for them. You know, at Delta Media Group, we do more than custom website design. We also do custom backend CRM intranet implementations, where the entire system is not only white labeled for each of the brokerages that uses our service, but the actual system itself visually and functionally looks very different for every brokerage that implements it. Our goal at Delta is that when we're rolling out a new customer using our system, we have a partner success team that will help guide the brokerage through the process of creating their own version of the system. Much like building a custom website, you have tons and tons of options to build your own custom DeltaNET, offering things like single sign-on tiles, quick actions into different tools of the system, AI-driven task creation, a full-blown CRM and marketing system, SSO dashboards, and more. And so what that means for Delta is that when we do webinars like this, keep in mind that if you're a customer that's already running on DeltaNET 7, that the version of the system I showed today may look very different than the version of the system that you're using in your company. So I did want to give that as a quick disclaimer. The good news is, I'll illustrate when we jump into the live version of the software, that every single feature of the DeltaNET is uniform. So even though things may look visually a little different, or your navigation to get to those tools and features may look a little different, everything is still functional and accessible within the DeltaNET system. And I'll make sure to show you how to find those for those of you that are running on custom DeltaNET implementations. For those of you that are not current DeltaNET customers on this call, this is a slide that really gives a good overview of the tools and features and functionality that are available to our Upgrade Agent platform. And roughly 80% of the clients that work with Delta Media Group are on a program where all of the agents have access to all of the tools and functionality in our system, which is what we call our upgrade program. And so these features that are on this list, for those that are current clients, should all look very familiar. You've got your social connector, customizable website themes, a testimonial platform, AI-driven task lists and creation, our newsletter program, My Customer for Life, and email drip campaigns, as well as being fully integrated with companies like Google Workforce, Office 365 to offer calendar and contact sync, customizable seller reports and market watch reports, our Open House management app, Open House Connector, and of course, DeltaNet Academy as our training and education system. These are all things that are available to agents within our upgrade program. And so these are the features that most agents seem to resonate with. What we're going to be talking about today has nothing to do with any of these features or tools. As a company, the DeltaNet already checks all the boxes for what you expect to see in any modern CRM or marketing platform in 2023. Ability to import, export contacts, build customer lists, email marketing, print marketing, e-cards, all that stuff is already included. And we have plenty of other webinars and content on our YouTube channel to do a deeper dive into those topics. Today, we're going to be featuring those lesser known features, starting with the admin side of the platform. And today, the admin side of the DeltaNet is still DeltaNet 6.0. So that will be uniform across the board for all brokerages. As I dig into the topics that you see on the slide here today, you'll be able to follow along real time inside of your company DeltaNet if you are a root admin at your brokerage. And so we're going to be covering both admin side features as well as agent side features. And today, I'm going to begin by jumping out of the keynote and going into a live walkthrough of the admin side of the DeltaNet, where we can start to address some of these specific topics that I had on the slide that was just on the screen. So again, we're going to be going through quite a bit of information on this call. So we're going to be going step by step through some different features and tools within the DeltaNet. And since we're on the admin side and everything is uniform for all customers, as I mentioned, if you're a current customer, you could follow along if you'd like, or come back and reference this recording to see how I access some of these different tools and features. The first one of those that I would like to dig into is DeltaNet Academy. So this is a new tool that we had launched about 18 months ago that brought an integrated training and education system into the DeltaNet. Out of the box, it's got courses that are available for you to assign to your agents for things like DeltaNet training. So assigning a training course on how to customize your website, assigning a training course on how to import contacts into your CRM. And DeltaNet Academy has things like reminders and to-dos tied to it so that if, as an office manager, if you assigned a course to an agent, you have automated reminders that let you know when that course has actually been completed, or if an agent is overdue on that course. The admin side under Admin Home, DeltaNet Academy, is where you can go to actually build your own DeltaNet Academy training courses. So not only do you have the ones available out of the box that we've included, you can come into the system and you could rename DeltaNet Academy. We have brokerages that their agents don't know who DeltaNet is because they've white labeled their system into something like ProLink Plus or Online Office. And so you can rename any tool in the DeltaNet that has the word DeltaNet in it can be relabeled. So if you don't want to call your system DeltaNet Academy, you wanted to call it Online Academy. Or if you don't want to call Delta Create, you could rename that. Or Delta Pitch could be renamed and relabeled. Anything with that Delta branding, you can change. And so here on the admin side, I could rename DeltaNet Academy. And then I can see all of the training courses that are currently available within the system. And so you've got all sorts of modules that are built in. And then you could see you could see reporting on all the courses that have been created and assigned to different agents, and if those courses are overdue or have been completed on time. Within the DeltaNet Academy interface on the admin side, you have the ability to create new courses. So one thing that we've seen be very successful for brokerages, especially as they make the switch to DeltaNet 7, is they're building their own custom training courses to match their white labeled version of DeltaNet 7. Or we've also seen be very successful, brokerages create their own agent onboarding courses because these don't need to be courses or training modules related to the DeltaNet. They could be any type of training that you want to have assigned to your agents. So I could come into the system and create, for example, a day one onboarding course. And I could make this visible to specific offices. Maybe you want to have different training for commercial agents, or you can have it available for all offices. You can make that training course available only to specific user types. So maybe we only want agents to see this, or it could be available to office users as well. You've also got the ability to make a training course available just for DeltaNet 6 users or DeltaNet 7 users. So you could build your training in advance for DeltaNet 7 before you make the switch to that version of the system. You're able to upload thumbnails for the training course, and then of course build custom descriptions. So we'll just put some custom text in here. And you can mark if the training courses need to be completed in any particular order, or if you could take the modules in any order that you like. So let's go ahead and say these need to be done in order. We can go to the next step of the system, and it's going to add a modules button. So now I can add modules to my training course. So we could say, let's add a new module. This will be something completely new. Or I could add an existing module, which is going to look at all of the other training courses that have already been created. So for example, if I want to have a seller report module inside of my day one onboarding, I could come in here, select that module and add it to this training course. So now we have a module here. Maybe I want to come in and create a brand new module. Now I can label this as a custom module. And then you've got access to our WYSIWYG editor, which allows you to embed photos, videos, insert custom HTML. You have a full editor program that you can add step-by-step slides or prompts into this training course. You could also import content from a PDF or embed videos directly in your DeltaNET Academy courses. So for example, if I take a look at any one of these courses that are in here, such as customizing your website, you can get into the system, you could edit these training courses, you have the ability of managing all the elements and modules that are within it. I could come in and edit this content, you could see multiple slides exist, and you're also able to do things like add quizzes to your courses. So if you add a quiz, you can add questions and say that user can't complete the training course until they pass the quiz. So you've got an entire course builder available within the DeltaNET that you could leverage for literally anything. For example, a day one onboarding of a new agent, you might have sent them a course that says, here is where you go to park in our parking lot. Here is where you access where you can find access to our signs, or anything you could think of that's related to material that a new agent is going to want to know as they're onboarded onto your company. The next topic we're going to talk about is also found under the admin home side, and it is support tickets. This is actually an integrated program, so we're going to go into a company here. So I'm going to authenticate into a brokerage and go into their support queue. So give me just a moment here. You're seeing Google authentication. You're able to go into the support tickets hub, and this is going to show you any tickets that are active with Delta Media Group's support team. So this is a fully transparent, open visibility into any issues that your company, agents, office managers, or admins have reported. And if it's waiting for your reply, it means that the team at Delta is waiting on a response from the brokerage to keep that ticket moving forward. If it's open, it means that the ticket is waiting on Delta to respond to the issue. Or if the ticket is closed, it means that issue has already been corrected, and you're able to see things like when the ticket was last updated, completion on any projects that required our programming or design teams, and you can actually dig step by step into every ticket that's been opened with our company, any comments, any back and forth replies, everything is logged within the system. So you've got a place to go to see all of the communications your team has had with our support team. We're all about open transparency and communication, so we want to make sure that that's visible for you within the DeltaNET. Another admin side tool we're going to dig into is actually a very popular one that we added about a year ago. And this is a tool that allows you, especially those that are marketing directors on the call, to take advantage of our email marketing system without needing to authenticate as your agents. So underneath of the customers option on the admin side, if you go down to email blasts, this is where you can go to create email marketing templates that you're then able to blast or send a bulk email to different groups of contacts that are within the DeltaNET. From the admin side of the system, there is a new button that is available that we added about a year ago called Send as Agents. So this means as a company administrator, I could come into the email blast system on the admin side, I could create an email, and I could schedule the day and time that this email should be run. So we could say, for example, maybe we want this to run on Saturday at 2:15. I can send this on behalf of the company, or I could select any of the admins or agent accounts that are within the DeltaNET. So I could send it as the company, it'll come from the company email address on file, or you could authenticate as an agent. And then you're able to specify which groups of customers are going to receive this email, and you're able to build the actual email content within the WYSIWYG editor down below, and also see a history of all of the emails that have run through the email blast system. This button here, Send as Agents, gives you the ability to select any agent within the company. So here we're going to use our Harley account. So I've now selected that the agent that I'd like to send marketing as is Harley, and it gives me a list of all of the marketing contacts, all the user groups that are within Harley's database. So as an admin, I can see I'm authenticated here now as Harley. Maybe I wanted to send an email to all of his marketing customers. So I can select that user group. And now I can continue on to the next step, which is going to allow me to send that email blast as if I was Harley to this group of contacts. So the email will actually run from Harley's email address. Any responses he gets from this email will go directly to him, but I was able to send that marketing on behalf of Harley directly from the admin side of the system. Beyond being able to do this for individual agents, you could actually do this for an entire office. So if you wanted to send a communication to all of the agents' contacts that belong to a specific office, you're able to come in to the Send as Agent system, and I can select an office. So here we've selected our Barberton office. The agents in that office have 600 contacts. So now I can send an email to all of the active customers for all agents by selecting that office. Every contact that gets an email from this system, the email will come from the agent that owns that contact in their database. So it's a bulk email marketing tool that is available directly from the admin side of the system. And again, you've got all of your history tracking still tied in here, and the agents that you are sending on behalf of will also be able to see that email tracked within their DeltaNet to see things like open rate, click-through rate, who opted out of emails that were sent from the system. There's a lot of flexibility within the Email Blast platform, and this is just taking it one step further so that you don't need to authenticate as an agent to help them do things like email marketing. It can be done directly from the admin side of the DeltaNet. Another very popular feature of our system is internal company messaging. And this is something that, again, many of our clients weren't aware was offered within our platform. Under the Users tab on the admin side of the system is a button that says Send Message. And this is designed to be used for internal company communications. On the Send Message screen, you have three options. You could send an email, you could send an SMS text message, or you can send a system notice, which will be displayed to users when they log into the DeltaNet. For this example, let's say we want to send an SMS message. So here in Northeast Ohio, where Delta Media Group is headquartered, very common we get big snowstorms through the area. So let's say we wanted to send a text message that was about a blizzard coming through because we're going to close our office. So I could say I want to send a text message and proceed to the next step. I'm now greeted with an interface that allows me to build whatever content I want here. So we'll say all offices closed for 2 days. And we want to send this now to all of the agents or all of the office users or everybody. And I could say, send this only to those that are in the office affected by this blizzard, or I could send it to all offices, or I could send the text just to specific agents. So maybe I only want to send it to Harley because he's the only one that works in that office. We want to tell him not to come in today. So I could come in and add that user, and he'll also receive that text message. When you click the send button, it's going to take the content that you've written here and instantly send a text message to the cell phone number on record for every one of the agents that you've selected should receive this message. So you have the ability to send bulk instant text messaging to your agents using this system. In addition to being able to send bulk text messages, you could do the same thing for an email. So you can go to the next step. You could schedule the date and time that this email should be sent to your agents. You could build the content here using the WYSIWYG editor. Because this is an email, I could add attachments to it. And again, I can select who should receive the email. And I can even CC myself on the email so I can make sure that it was delivered. The final option here is system notice, which is just going to give that pop-up prompt whenever the user logs into the DeltaNet. They'll see the message that you've typed up here. And then, of course, you've got a history on all of the messages that were sent through the system. So I could see if it was an email, if it was a system notice. I could delete these notices. I could see the emails that were built and sent out. So you have full history on everything that was sent through the send message system. Next is another tool here called internal event planning. And so underneath of the company news tab is actually an option called events. And this is something that's leveraged by a lot of our clients, allowing you to create events that are going to be displayed on all of the agents' calendars that are in the offices you select. So this is used for things like reoccurring office meetings, or if you'd like to schedule company events, or if you want to schedule company training. There's built-in widgets within DeltaNet 7, which I'll show, that allow you to have a company calendar put on your agent's DeltaNet. And you could put it on their homepage, you could put it anywhere you want in the system, but it basically will add a calendar that allows them to sync that calendar to their personal calendar, or they could just see it within the DeltaNet and see all the upcoming company events that they're able to register for. I could see a list of all of the events that are upcoming inside of this particular company. I could also see a calendar view. So I could toggle between that list view or calendar view of when different events are on the schedule. And if I wanted to add a new event, I could say, let's create a new event. I am now able to designate, is this event happening on a specific day and time? So we could say maybe we're going to have an event on Friday morning at 9 a.m. So I can come in and toggle and change the dates and times here. I could also designate if that event should be all day or if it's just a timed event. You could schedule any event that you're creating to be a reoccurring event. So we could say, we want to have a daily huddle every morning at 9 a.m. Or maybe we're going to have a weekly office meeting every Tuesday. Or we're going to have a monthly meeting that we want to have on the calendar. You could come in here and make the event reoccurring. You're also able to then designate a location for the event. So you could type in virtual, you could type in one of your office addresses. This is going to then populate through on the actual calendar event so people know where it should be hosted. You will have your standard WYSIWYG editor. You can add any content you want, which will be visible when your agents are going to register for this event. So if you wanted to have a photo, if you wanted to have a video that they can view, whatever you want to have tied to the event, you're able to type that here. I'm then able to limit registrants for the event if I want. So if this is at a venue, for example, that only sits 20 people, I could say only up to 20 people can register for the event, and it will show me the number of people that are already registered if this was an active event. You can also designate who has visibility to this event. Is it open to the entire company, or is it only visible to specific offices? So that's going to determine who actually sees this event appear on their calendar. And then I'm able to go into some advanced settings here. So advanced settings would allow you to do things like designate how often reminders run to those that are already registered to the event. Is it going to create notifications to people after they register for the event? I can also do things like say, do I want to have a specific URL that's available so that I can just send a link out to this event and they'll be able to register for it without getting into the DeltaNet. So you do have some advanced options here. Once the event again is actually created, it appears on the agent's calendars as an event like this. And these events can also be color coordinated, as you'll see on the agent side, so they know if it is a company event, an office event, a personal event. The calendar can be designated to view the list view, a week view, daily, or a list view. If you click on any one of these events, it's going to give you a pop-up prompt showing you the date and time and the location of this event. And then anything that you had typed into that WYSIWYG is going to be visible here. So again, photos, videos, whatever you embed will be visible so that the agent can actually see what is going to be presented as part of that calendar event. Finally, you can also allow agents to hide events. So sometimes companies will want the events visible only after they've registered for the event. So you send out a URL, somebody registers, it's going to be on their calendar. If you toggle this, agents won't see the event unless they've registered. If you don't have this setting toggled, they'll see every event on their calendar, even if they haven't registered for it yet, so they know that there's something they can register for. There is also a company news tab that allows you to create news articles that are only shown to agents in your company. So there is a widget in DeltaNet 7 called Company News. Anything you add here will only be shown inside of the DeltaNet on the company news widget. So a lot of companies use that for internal communications for things like we're going to be opening a new office or award announcements that you want to have internally. So there is a place that you can use on the admin side to create those news articles that'll only be shared within the DeltaNet. There's a couple other items we're going to cover here on the admin side before we move over to the agent side. So one of those is going to be custom report building. And this is actually a very important tool. And this is important because there are a lot of different reports in the DeltaNet. And the most powerful of those reports is going to be found under the admin report tab under custom report. This is basically a report that allows you to add whatever fields of data you want to see as it relates to your agents. So for example, I could say, I want this to show me specific offices, specific teams, or all of the users in the company. You can look at data over a specific time frame. So I could say, this is only showing me a month's worth of data. Maybe I want to see everything year to date. And I can update the data in real time. I'm also able to say, don't show me anything that has an empty cell. So I only want to see data represented if there's something worth looking at. You're then able to dig in and add columns of data to this report. So one of the questions we're asked commonly is, we want to see an engagement report. What agents are actually using different tools in the DeltaNet? Or you want to see what agents have contacts entered into their CRM. So under this custom report tab, I could say, let me see columns of data. I want to see customer count. I want to see direct logins. I want to see anybody that has Facebook connector turned on, or I want to see anybody that has the testimonials turned on, or my customer for life enabled. As you add those columns, it's going to add that data to the report. So this report is now going to update real time with the information that I just asked the system to show me. So now I'm able to see all the users in the DeltaNet, and I can see real time who's logged in, how many times do they log in, how many customers are in their CRM, which sections of the DeltaNet did they visit, do they have certain features turned on or on, yes or no. All of this is filterable. So if I wanted to toggle and see direct logins, I can see here, Dan Hall is the #1 user of this company. He's got 574 direct logins so far this year. And you can drill down further and you can see step by step these agents. And of course, all of this data is exportable. So I could export this data, and you're also able to save this as a template. So you could come in and easily rerun this report without having to build it every time you come into the DeltaNet. So you could build different templates. I could say, I want to save this as a new report. So I click the save button. This is going to be my agent adoption report. And I can go ahead and save that. And it's now going to be a template option that I can select from. So I could run a new report, or I could load a report that's already been saved as a template from this custom report page. There are a ton of other reports that you have access to in the DeltaNet for things like visitor sessions, user login, user engagement, email reports showing you metrics. All can be found under the reports tab. But this particular report of being customizable is one that has a ton of data available for you to be able to drill into, export this data, and create your own adoption reports as needed. Another tool that we added to the system in the last 2 years is one that we had a lot of requests for, but because of the complexity of the system, it doesn't have a ton of usage unless you really know what you're doing with it. And this is going to be our custom form building. So custom form building is where you can go to actually build your own forms on the DeltaNet. And these are forms that are displayed on your company website or agent websites. So when I talk about a form, we're going to go here to deltamediagroup.com. This here at the bottom of the page, this is a form. This is the subscribe form. I have data points that we're collecting information on. And let's say I wanted to request a demo. This is a completely different form. So we're collecting information in a different way. There's different variables and fields of data here. Depending on which page of the system you're looking at, you might see different forms on the page. So different pages will have different forms. One of the things that I want to highlight using our custom form builder is that you are able to see every form that's already built and accessible on your website. So if you wanted to collect different data points or have leads captured by that form handled differently, you can do so on the forms, or you could build your own. For this example, we're going to look at a form here that was built as a transaction survey. So I can look at any of the existing forms and I could edit it. I could see all the people that have already filled out this form. I could preview what that form looks like. So you have access to do different things with the forms. Let's go ahead and edit this form. I could set the name of any form as I'm building it. You could designate which type of form is it, a form, a survey, a transaction survey. You can designate, should this be used on web pages? If you check this box, your agents will be able to add these forms to their website. You could check a box to say, if somebody fills out this form, create a lead. And if this is a lead, who should get these types of leads? Should it go into your lead routing, or should it go to a specific agent? If you want it to go to multiple people, you can have them separated by adding a comma. I'm then able to see the text that's going to be shown on the form, the autoresponders that are sent when somebody completes the form, and then finally, the form designer itself. So this is showing me all of the items that are in this particular form. So again, it's all modifiable. I could do custom text right here in line. You're able to drag and drop and move elements within the form itself. So I'm able to say, for example, if I want the field to be under first name, I can drag that. I've now moved it around within the designer itself. Again, every element here is customizable. On the right-hand side, you're going to be able to delineate which types of fields do you want to put on the form itself. Do you want it to be an input box, an open text area? It's multi-select. Should they be specific buttons? Should it be radio or checkboxes? So you can select any one of these and drag and drop that element into the form itself. So again, inside of the designer, you could put these items different places and modify how they should behave. You can also delete those as you add them. You can view what that form is going to look like on desktop, as well as on a tablet, on a mobile view as well. So you can see how the forms are responsive. There's a lot of functionality that is built into this system. You can do custom elements. You do have the ability of full on creating custom code, copy and pasting code from other forms you've built. This is a true custom form builder. These forms, once created, can then be saved and again be used on any web page that you have in the DeltaNET. So they can be used on your company site or on your agent's websites. If you wanted to build a custom form that you want to put on a career and recruiting page on your website, you can create these forms, again, decide how those lead rules are followed. And there's also platform-wide settings you can do for each one of the forms. So this will show you, do you want to force the phone number to be required on every form? Do you want to force the user to select an agent on every form? There's other options that are available here. But the form builder itself, for those that want to play around with that, can be found under Preferences, Forms, and Surveys. The next tool is one that does need set up manually in conjunction with your Partner Success Manager. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Lead Accountability System. This is a really big tool that basically is built out to get your company taking advantage of the leads being generated through your company website by forcing the agents to tell you the quality of the leads and follow up with them on the leads that are being generated. So under the admin side of the DeltaNet, under leads, you're going to see a button for those of you that have this setting turned on called Lead Update Request System. If you don't see that setting, all you need to do is reach out to your Partner Success Manager and we can help you configure this tool. What the Lead Update Request System does is it allows you as a company to set predefined options that are available for your agents to select from whenever a lead is assigned to them. So picture this walkthrough. A lead is captured from your website and you assign it to an agent. That agent gets the instant lead notification via text message, and ideally, they respond to that lead quickly. If they don't respond to that lead, it's going to start pinging them reminders. You need to respond to this lead. Eventually, they're going to process the lead, hopefully. After they've processed the lead, this system is going to then continue to ping the agent, even after they've processed the lead, asking them about the quality of that lead. So this is showing me as an admin all of the responses that I'm still waiting to hear back on from my agents. So I can see the name of the lead, I can see the agent it was assigned to, and then I'm able to see how long it's been waiting for a response. So it's still pending a response. As an admin, I could respond for the agent. I could put it on hold so it stops notifying the agent. I could disable the lead, or I could just process this and say, hey, I've taken care of this. What the agent's going to see is they'll get a text message asking them to give information about the quality of this lead after they've processed it. And they're going to have just quick predefined options that they can respond with. You guys as a company can set what those options are. So for example, I could say this lead, I processed it, but it was no good. They already are working with another agent. So I could just come in and say, hey, that was a lead, but we lost it. We didn't get that. Don't actually count that as a lead because it was already working with another agent by the time I got back with them. I could say, I no longer want this lead. So maybe for one reason or another, this person's not actually qualified or they're not going to be able to do business with us. I could say, yeah, I got that lead, but I don't want to work it. I could also do things like say, this person actually is working with me. So they're an active lead. They're in my system. So a company can say with certainty, hey, we generated 100 leads. We heard from our agents that responded to those 100 leads that 15 of those were qualified active leads, and maybe 10 of them were already working with another agent, so on and so forth. So you can start to qualify the quality of the leads that are coming through your website. So inside of the lead update request system, you're able to build out all of the emails and the notifications that run to your agents as reminders. You're also able to build out what those pre-built options are for them to respond, saying, yeah, that was a quality lead, or maybe that was a fake lead, maybe that was spam, whatever you want to build the options to be. That way, again, you could start to gauge the quality of the leads coming through your system. So our team at Delta will help you configure your lead update request system for those that want to turn it on, but there is quite a bit of thought that goes into configuring this, like defining how often you want to notify your agents or ask them to leave a response, which responses should be offered, how should the system be activated? Do you only want it to send reminders Monday through Friday? Do you only want it to be during certain office hours? How often should you be asking for information? Are there certain agents you want opted out of the program? There's a lot of configuration that can happen here, but it's a really powerful tool for those that are using it. The next one we're going to cover here is our builders and community system. Again, something that needs to be turned on by your partner success manager for those that want to leverage it. And builders and communities is actually a really, really powerful tool that a lot of our brokerages are using to monetize new revenue streams on their websites. So we're going to go quickly to a client of ours, Coldwell Banker Prime, that has this system activated. So I can first show you what your consumers will see by having builders and communities activated, and then show you how to configure it within the DeltaNET. Builders and communities is basically a tool that allows you to build three things. Number one, builders, new construction builders that you want to have affiliated on your website. Number two, the communities where those builders are building homes. And number three, the model homes that are offered in those communities. So you're building out builders, communities, and model homes. And those three things all tie together. I can see what models a builder builds, what communities that builder builds in, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to click the new construction button on coldwellbankerprime.com. This is showing me all the communities where they have new home builders active. And I can see each one of those developments. For example, here's Blooming Grove. So this is a new community that homes are being built in. If I click into Blooming Grove, I can see there's an interactive map. I can see the floor plans offered in this community, the price list, lot premiums. You could add things like HOA covenants or files that are visible for the consumers that are looking at this development. You'll add content to this page. So here I can see there's some copy here. Here is an interactive Google map showing me where this development is located. There's virtual tours that are available for it. These are the model homes that are offered inside of this community. And then there's specific agents that are working this community. So this contact form is going to send the leads to these agents. And I can then see Kohler Homes is the actual builder that's working this community. If I click into Kohler Homes, I'm able to see a landing page for this builder. These are the homes that they're building. These are the communities that they build those homes in. So you can start to see how builders and communities ties together. First, you've got the ability to search for communities in specific counties or school districts, so you can filter the communities down. I can see a list of all of those communities down below. And in addition to being able to search for communities, you could also have landing pages that are tied to builders. So now here are all of the builders that are highlighted on their website. And if I click into some of these builders, you'll find additional information about the builder. So here's content about JMG Custom Homes, and there's contact forms that are tied to this particular builder. I could view their website. I could fill out the contact form. So you're able to build out landing pages for each one of those builders. And as I mentioned, see the model homes that they're building as well. And the way that that all ties together within the DeltaNET is under the Builders and Communities tab. So as the company admin, you're able to add new communities to the system. So I could, for example, edit an existing community. Here's all the information about it. I can have it visible on landing pages. I can show the contact information for this particular community, descriptions, add images to it, interactive plat maps, the builders that it should be affiliated with, agents that should be displayed on that community, the model homes that are being displayed. I can tie videos, files, and more directly to that home. And I can even run dedicated AdWizard ads specifically to a community landing page. So that's editing a community. Beneath that, you're going to see all of your builders. And again, you can edit any one of those builders or add new ones. And you can add information about the builder, descriptions, images tied to the builder, videos, files, the model homes that they build. And then finally, you're going to see models. And the models are, again, you're going to be able to tie that model to specific communities, to specific builders. I can designate the information about the model. I can add images, videos, files, all could be tied to a specific model. So you could build out really nice landing pages that advertise specific communities that you know you're working, that are high quality, that you could drive traffic to those landing pages. Or as some of our brokerage partners do, the builders will actually pay the brokerage to be advertised on their website. And you can then do things like advertise that builder's logo in email marketing, have them paying you based off of the impressions on their landing page or the number of email opens that happened with their logo on it. There's really a lot of opportunity with the system, and those tools are built right into your DeltaNET. So again, that's under admin, listings, builders, and communities. If you don't see that option, just reach out to your partner success manager and we can work with you on getting that set up. Just 3 admin tools remaining before we move on to the agent side. So this next one will be quick. This is actually a very old tool that we have in the DeltaNet that has new relevance, which is QR codes. So obviously, as of 2020, QR codes way back in style. You may or may not know that you have access to a full-on QR code builder within your DeltaNet. So under the admin side, you've got QR codes, and you can generate these QR codes and have them managed all in one interface. So the QR code system is going to allow you to see the URL tied to that QR code. So I could say, anybody that scans this QR code, they need to go to a specific URL, or I want them to go to the company homepage, or I want them to go to a specific property detail page, and you can see all of your active properties, or you want them to go to a 404 error. So that sign, for example, may no longer be used. So you could designate a specific URL, homepage, property detail page. You can then assign that code to be used just by the company, or you can assign that code to be used and managed by specific agents in the company. And then I could see stats, for example. How often has that code been scanned? I can tie notes to that account. I could download the QR code so I could put it on a sign. This QR code interface is also visible on the agent DeltaNet, so they can see any QR codes that you've opened up to be used by them. So you may put up a billboard with a giant QR code on it. Anybody that scans it can go directly to a specific page on your website. You can leave that same billboard up and then come in and change the things that happens when that QR code is scanned, and have detailed reports showing you how often it's being scanned. So it's a pretty handy tool if you're doing any type of print marketing with QR codes, because you make the code once and then you can reassign what that code does and have different tracking in place by it, and even reassign if agents can modify how that code is working. Next, we're going to go into a DeltaNet 7 specific item, which is creating custom widgets. So we're going to quickly toggle into the personal side of the DeltaNet. So we're now in DeltaNet 7. For those of you that are company administrators, you'll have access to a page called Navigation and Access. This is the page that allows you to customize your unique version of the DeltaNet. We've added the ability inside of DeltaNet 7, as I've mentioned in previous webinars, to create your own custom user roles, create your own navigation, create your own dashboards that have different features and functionality, like different tiles, different widgets visible. What we're talking about today is brand new functionality that allows you to create your own custom widgets. So a widget is actually all of the functionality of the DeltaNet. So widgets are features. For example, Ad Wizard, Agent Roster, Blog, the calendar, and you could put those widgets on custom pages. The custom widget tool allows you to build your own widgets and put them anywhere you want in the DeltaNet. So as a really easy example, let's take a look at the home page that is on our default out-of-the-box DeltaNet. You've got activities for the day, you've got tasks, and you can see a customer list. If I was an admin and I wanted to make this page look a little bit more inviting, I might add a custom widget to that page. So let's go ahead and click the plus button and say build custom widget. We're going to make this a custom widget, and we're going to just make this some blank text. I can assign an icon to the widget. So just so I can easily find it, I'm going to make this like a traffic cone. You've got your what you see is what you get editor. This is going to build the content shown in the widget. So you can embed photos, you can embed videos, you could add links to other third-party sources. Whatever you want to put in the widget, you have full control over adding anything you want. And for this example, we're going to add an image to make our homepage a little bit more inviting. So let's insert an image. This is going to pull up your company image browser where you can see all the photos you've got uploaded. We're going to pull a photo here. I can adjust the size of that image right here in line inside of the editor. So we're going to come in and shrink this image up a little bit. We just want to make a nice little graphic that'll be at the top of our page. I can then define which user role has access to view this widget. So we're just going to say every user role we've got here in the company is going to be available to use that widget. Hit save. Real time, I have now built a new custom widget, and you're able to see that delineated on the list because it says custom widget and there's a custom tag next to it. Because this is custom, I could actually come in and edit that widget, and I can also delete that widget altogether. So if I click that delete button, it's going to remove it from the system. Now that we've built the widget, I'm going to go ahead and throw that on our homepage. So I'm going to edit the company homepage. I want to add a new widget to it. We're going to search for our custom widget that we've just built. Here it is. Make that a large widget. We're going to drag it to the top of the page and hit save. So literally in the last 60 seconds, I've built a new widget. I've added it to my homepage, We're going to toggle on over to our homepage. Here's my custom widget. I can see the name of it. Here's the image that I've added. You get the idea. You can put whatever you want anywhere in the DeltaNet, drag and drop, reorganize it, make it visible to your users. If I wanted to get rid of that widget, so we're no longer going to need that in our system, I am done with that for demonstration purposes. I could come in and say, let's get rid of that particular widget from the page, hit save. Maybe I want to delete the widget altogether. So we'll come back over here and say, let's delete that widget. It saves that real time, as you can see by the notification at the top. Go back to our homepage. We've deleted that custom widget. So super duper easy to build and add your own widgets, make those available to be used inside of the page builder system, and help you build out your DeltaNet. For the final admin related tool, we're going to go into a feature that we've also had for quite some time, but it's kind of tucked away in a place you might not expect. This is actually a marketing tool we call curbside marketing. And this tool is only available for brokerages that are using our digital marketing packages. So you have to have at least the $800 or $1,000 a month SEO Pro packages built and active on your account. So underneath of the lead setting on the admin side, go to the lead settings page. On your lead settings page, you're going to find the second option says curbside marketing. By opening this up, this is going to reveal an interface that allows you to actually configure geo-based text messaging functionality. And it exists under the lead settings page because it allows you to determine how leads are routed when people text message these short codes. So here's how curbside marketing works. Every company has a short code assigned to it, and it'll show you what your company's short code is. There are 3 different geo-based text message systems. You've got listing related, you've got property detail related, and you've got open house related. So for example, I can say, if somebody texts DMG list, what's going to happen? They're taken to a search results list. So it is going to take you to the company detail page, show you all active listings that are within a 1-mile radius of that location. So it's showing me list results view, or I can default it to map results view. So you might put a sign out in a yard that says text 79842 new listings, and it'll show you all the listings in that neighborhood. You might put that on a sign that's in front of a community that you're servicing. Text X number, community name, all the active listings are texted to you in the search results. And that's geo-based. So if you move that sign somewhere else and somebody texts that, they're going to get a completely different result back. So you could use, the same sign, put it in front of different communities. You could have 10 signs all in front of 10 different neighborhoods. When people text that specific phrase, they're going to get different search results sent back to them because it's all geo-based. Same thing for a sign like detail pages. So again, you might put 15 signs that are all identical in front of 15 different houses. Text 79842 detail. And you're going to get a text message back that links you directly to the detail page of the home nearest to your current location. So it's going to pick up on your phone's location, and it's going to link you to the nearest property detail page. So again, another way of generating traffic to your site and lead opportunities. The final one is open house related. So you can designate a specific keyword phrase. When people text that, they're going to be sent to a search results page of all of the nearby open houses that are in the area. So I could see it either on a map view, a results view, or limit to only show company open houses on that page. So that's curbside marketing. Again, if you don't have that option under your lead settings, let your partner success manager or Delta support know. We can get you on the appropriate package so you have access to take advantage of this geo-based text message functionality. You, of course, can see a history over all of the text messages that have happened over a specific amount of time. So I could see, for example, in the last 90 days, these are the text message responses that have come through, and I'm able to see which address was sent back, the agent that works that property. So there is a full history of all of the texts that have happened using those geo-based text message codes. All right. With that being said, we're going to dig into a different set of topics here with our last 10 minutes, which is going to be going over some obscure agent functionality. There's a handful of items here that I think are important to be able to highlight that are accessible within DeltaNet 7, and most of these work in DeltaNet 6 as well, for unique features and functionality that you can find on the agent side. The one with the 3 stars, the national DNC list, is the first one we'll cover. It is the only one that has an additional charge if you don't already have it activated. The DeltaNET supports the ability to integrate the national do not call list directly into your company's DeltaNET to make sure your agents that are doing proactive prospecting aren't violating the national DNC. So here we're going to authenticate as an agent. We're going to use Harley's account just to make things straightforward and easy for me. And one of the widgets that is available within DeltaNet 7 is the national do not call list. So when you see the do not call list widget, there's a handful of things that you can do with it. First of all, you can see which phone number area codes are already tied to your company's version of the list. So in this example, it's using the local 330 area code here in Northeast Ohio. And what I can do is run a list of numbers against the do not call list, and it'll automatically flag any of my contacts that are on the DNC list. I could generate a list and see all the numbers. I could add a phone number to the national DNC list. So let's say I called somebody, they said, don't call me again. I could add a number to the DNC list, which will make it available for all the other agents in the company to know not to call that number. I could generate a unique list of numbers. So I could, hey, I want to check these 10 numbers, make sure they're not on the list. You can do that. If you accidentally call somebody that was on the DNC list and they threaten to sue you, as many members on the DNC list like to do, you can report a violation of that particular phone call. So you can log, hey, I accidentally called somebody on the list. I wanted to make it known that was an accident. I'm reporting this. That way there's a paper trail that you reported that violation, which can go a really long way if you do accidentally violate the list. So this is the do not call widget. It can be added to any of our CRMs. And if you're looking at a contact record that's on the do not call list, you're going to see that flagged right on the contact record that they should not be called. Their number will be grayed out. Another system that's lesser known inside of the DeltaNet is our Haves and Wants platform. And Haves and Wants is an internal message board that can be set up for agents to communicate with each other, both inside of a message board inside of the DeltaNet, as well as with an email newsletter. So the idea of Haves and Wants is you could say, I'm an agent that has a buyer looking for XYZ. And you can send out that notice into the Haves and Wants systems, and it's going to allow other agents to communicate and respond back to your message. So I could say, I have a buyer or I have a seller pertaining to specific information. And then I can designate which agents should see this post, which offices should see this post. I could add content to this. I could attach a file. I could attach, again, graphics, images. It's the same. What you see is what you get, article. And I'm then going to see how many people are going to see this post when I publish it inside of the Haves and Wants system. This works not only as a message board to see all the posts that have been uploaded here, but I also can set if I want this to work as a newsletter. So I can say, send me an instant email anytime somebody posts inside of Haves and Wants. And I could say, only send me that notification if they're agents that belong to a specific office, or only send me a notification if it's a specific agent. Or I could say, I don't want to get email notifications at all. I only want to see the Haves and Wants system in the DeltaNet. So this can work both as an internal message board as well as an email newsletter to allow agents to communicate with each other via instant notifications tied to the Haves and Wants system. Something else that we've added inside of the DeltaNet is market stats. And market stats basically works as an interactive hot sheet for you to be able to have your agents come in and see activity that's happened within your local market and community over a specific date of time. Most commonly, you're going to want to have this set up daily or maybe weekly at the most, where an agent can load the market stats widget inside of the DeltaNet, and they're able to see all the new listings that have hit the market, any price reductions, any sold listings, anything that's off market. They can see immediately all the activity happening within their market. This could both be viewed as a widget within the DeltaNet, or it could be set up as an email report that runs daily or weekly, and I can have it set to run that email to me first thing in the morning or in the evening. And I can set it up so that it only shows me updates on listings for my company or all IDX listings, or only show me listings of specific categories or in specific zip codes. So it's basically like a hot sheet, again, for an agent to quickly see all the activity happening within a specific market and to turn on or off email reports tied to that market update. Next, we're going to talk about another super quick feature of the system that is new to DeltaNet 7, which is the ability to tie together family records to a contact. So if I am looking at a specific contact record, let's load up actually one of our records here. So use Charles as one of our contacts. I can see the customer, So here's looking at a customer record page. I could message them, call them, see which pipeline phases and user groups they're a part of. And there's a new field here for family. So I can actually tie family members to this contact record. So let's add a family member. And we're going to add a spouse to this account. And we're going to say their specific email address. We'll just plug mine in here. I could designate, are they a spouse, a sibling, mother, father, child, pet? You can add multiple different types of family accounts to tie them together. If I designate that this is a spousal account, it allows me to tie their anniversary to the account so that this user will also get happy anniversary emails from the system. I can tie their birthday to it. And when I hit save, it's going to create the profile for that account, and it's now tied them together. So you're able to come into the system and add information directly to that particular user account. So I could come in here, I could save those details, tie them together. So now we've got our spouse tied. I could add kids and other family members. And that's going to allow automated communications to run not just to Charles, but also to any of the family accounts that we've set up and tied to their contact record. So that's one of the big asks we've had in the system. You now can easily add those family accounts and tie them to the system. Speaking of contacts, the next thing we're going to talk about is building custom call down lists using the CRM tools within the DeltaNET. So let's go to our customer list widget. Underneath of customer list, you're going to be able to see all the contacts that you have inside of the DeltaNET. So I've got my list of contacts here. I could search and filter them based off of different activity criteria. I could add different columns of data that can be visible. If I only want to see people that have interacted with my website over a certain amount of time, I can filter the list down. And the idea is, as you start to filter your list, you're going to see all the contacts in your CRM. As you see those contacts, you can start to pull them out of your customer list. So let's grab a couple of contacts here. We're going to grab 5 contacts. And because I have pulled those 5 customers, I've got a dropdown that's appeared. I have 5 customers selected. If I click on the interact button, it's actually building a call list for me. So I can see the 5 contacts that I have pulled out of that list. Now I can interact with these people in a new and different way. So I could add all of these customers to a new user group. I could change the pipeline status of these customers. I could send an email blast to these 5 contacts that I've pulled out. Or I could add a saved search or a note to all of their accounts. Or because I've got 5 customers here, if I click on any one of those contacts, it loads the details of this contact record. So here is Jennifer's contact. I could come in here, I could add information to her account, I could add a task, I could add a call down note, I could reach out to this customer, see their activity. When I'm done working with Jennifer, I can click the next button. It loads the next contact in the list. I'm now looking at Mindy's contact record. I could give her a phone call, add a note, move on to the next record. Here is Sam's account. So at the bottom, I can toggle between multiple groups of contact lists. So I can pull out the qualified prospects that I want to call in this 60-minute call blitz that I might do. I can call each one of the contacts, add the notes to their accounts. As I'm finished, I go through those contact records, click the back button. Maybe I called every single one of these people. Now I want to send them a bulk email blast. I can come in here and do that. So we're going to send an email blast to those contacts. Again, it makes it very easy to integrate your contact list and your day-to-day marketing strategies. So you pull out your contacts, you sort and filter them, you create your call list, you can interact with those customers in new and unique ways, and all of that is tracked. And as you click the back arrows, you've never actually left your customer list. You're still on the exact same page you were working on. The final agent tool we're going to talk about as we start to wrap up our webinar today is a much requested feature that allows you to leverage the content within Delta Create inside of email marketing templates. So you can do this both with email blasts as well as with email campaigns. So let's actually use a campaign email as an example. So we're going to go into the email campaigns widget. I can see all of my campaigns that are active. Here is a holiday campaign. So let's click into that campaign. Let's view the details of it. So it's going to show me all the contacts within this campaign. I can see which emails are tied to this campaign. Let's go ahead and add a new one. So let's say add an email. And because this is a holiday campaign, we want it to run on a specific date. So we're going to go ahead and say this should run on Christmas Eve every year. We want to send a specific email. So it's going to say Merry Christmas as a subject line. And then here you get to your WYSIWYG editor. Now what's different is if you're looking at email blasts or email campaigns, you can click on the insert button. Click on insert, and you're going to see an option for templates. So it's a little bit hidden, but what this feature allows you to do is pull in any of your Delta Create templates that are designated as e-cards and use them within the email marketing tools of the DeltaNET. So let's go ahead and click on templates. It's going to load in all of the templates that are built as e-cards that I could use inside of this particular campaign. So I'm looking and I can see all these different templates that are available here. It's not necessarily a Merry Christmas one, but as an example for a holiday e-card, here's one for Independence Day. So that template loads in. I can see what that looks like inside of the small editor here. Maybe I want to use a different Independence Day template because I'm more of a coastal company. Click OK. That e-card has now loaded directly within the what you see is what you get editor. So I can see my logo. I can adjust the size of that and edit that real time. I can also change out any of the colors, the content, the copy, the imagery can all be modified. But what I've done is I've inserted an e-card text directly inside of the WYSIWYG editor. So now if I click publish, we're going to go ahead and publish that message. We have now added that e-card that says Merry Christmas. It's more like Christmas in July, but I can preview. Here's what that e-card is going to look like when it runs. So I can see all the information that populated through from the e-card. And if I wanted to, I could come in here and edit that. Maybe we want to get rid of this template. We can just get rid of it altogether. So again, to access those e-cards being added into different sections of your marketing, just to quickly showcase it, we'll go into email blasts. We're going to go ahead and create a brand new email. And we're going to say this should run to, maybe we're just going to run this to a specific account. Here, we're going to go into insert template. I've got different templates that populate through here. So for this one, maybe we want it to be about seller content. Here's the e-card that I pulled through. Go ahead and hit OK. All the information pulled through. I can schedule this to run at a later date. So I could specify a date and time in the future that this will run. But I've imported that template right inside of my email blast system. So you could do that for the campaigns, for email blasts, and that's all found under insert and then templates. There's a ton of other features that are hidden away within the DeltaNET. This is just a little bit of a taste of some of the more obscure features and functionalities of the system. To keep things moving along, though, we're going to move back into the keynote. And I also wanted to quickly touch base on some other features or product offerings that we have at Delta you may not have been aware of. These are also topics that we've done webinars on in the past. So if you'd like to find more detail about the following slides, I recommend you go to our YouTube channel and look up our long extended webinars for pay-per-click advertising. So at Delta, we do offer traditional pay-per-click management, offering services to run paid ads on Google. These are just, default offerings. We can do custom budgets and do custom advertising for different markets. So this is running Google pay-per-click advertising. We offer Facebook and Instagram advertising packages that allow you to run automated ads for new listings or open houses, or for just general campaign ads on social media. And we also do LinkedIn career and recruiting advertising as well. So if you're looking to grow your company, we can help you create recruiting campaigns, manage and run those budgets for you. So it's another more obscure offering, as Delta is really known for our SEO and our CRM tools and our websites. I did also want to bring some light to the fact that we do have an entire pay-per-click advertising division, traditional digital marketing, that we do also offer for those that are looking. So I'm about 6 minutes over here. So I'm going to take a look now at any questions that have come through the Q&A or the chat and address those for you guys. That's what we've got prepared today. Again, this webinar was recorded, so you'll see that recording run. If you have any questions, now's the time to type those in. So first, the question that was asked was, can you create an event from an enterprise level? And the answer is yes. If you create an event as a root admin, you can make that available to everybody and delineate who has access to see and register for that event. Another question that had come through, is there a way we can make the groups in pipeline quick action buttons like the add family button is? That is a great feature request. So if you were looking at a contact record, you'd want the ability to say add to pipeline or add to user group. You can do that from the customer contact page, but right now you have to click the edit button to see those fields. Maybe we can get those as quick actions. I'll record that feedback. So thank you for that, Brandon. Another question that had come through is, what is the best way to switch for and delete duplicate contacts? So actually, as the last question I'll address, I'll show you that directly from within the DeltaNET. So let's screen share back into the DeltaNET to answer this final question. So within our system, we have the ability to manage duplicates. So when you're looking at contacts or you've done a customer import, you have the ability to see all the contacts that are within the system, and you can actually import and manage the imports that you have done. So let's go into the import tool. So any widget or feature in the DeltaNET, you can type in the name of it in the quick actions bar and get access to that widget. And when you're looking at these, you have different options when you're importing customers. So let's actually go into the options. It's going to show you all the field mapping that's been done. And you have the ability when you're importing contacts to pick up on duplicates. So any contacts that are in the system, you can run the ability to check for duplicates. And if we detect duplicates, it's going to pull those out on a separate list. So I could say, don't import anything that's a duplicate, or go ahead and import them as a new customer anyway. Or if we pick up that it's a duplicate, merge it with the existing contact, but update it with any of the new data that we found. Or you could say merge it with the existing contact, but favor the data that's already in the DeltaNET, so override anything that we already have data for. So you do have the ability to manage those at the import step. And then we also have a merge contacts tool. So merge contacts is going to allow you to actually pick up on all those duplicates, see them listed side by side, and pick and choose which contacts you want to merge into each other as duplicates or clean up within the system. There was one last question here. Can you guys add the ability to assign someone to a pipeline phase back to the add customer form? I know that was something that was in DeltaNet 6, but it does not seem to be in DeltaNet 7. So that's also great feedback, Brandon. I'll go ahead and add that to the feedback list as well. So I've just recorded both of those feedback items and make sure they're on our partner success list or product review list to get those items addressed. Thank you for everybody that took the time out of your busy schedules to hop on this webinar today. Hopefully you guys found it informative. Like I said, there's hundreds of features and functionality within the DeltaNET. Many of them you have to know what you're looking for to find. So we wanted to bring light to some of those features today. If we got a lot of positive reception from this, we could probably do another type of webinar where we're digging into more of these unique one-off type features, just to bring light to the tools that you guys already have access to for those current customers, or for those non-Delta clients, just to get a taste of the breadth of the features and functionality in our system. Thank you so much again. I appreciate everybody's time. This will be on YouTube, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you. Until next time.